Our story begins with a girl named Cady in a car with her mom and dad, driving through a nasty storm. The weather is so bad her father can't see the road ahead, and suddenly, a truck smashes into them. In the crash, Cady's parents are killed. But Cady survives. The scene cuts to a woman named Gemma. She works for a company that makes robotic toys, and right now, she's working secretly on a new robot with 2 colleagues. Even their boss, David, doesn't know about this project. The robot Gemma is secretly building is named M3GAN. M3GAN is an ultra-intelligent robot who won't just play with children, she'll protect them from any danger. One day, while the 3 of them are working, their boss David suddenly shows up. When he finds out they've been working on a secret project without his permission, he lays into them. He was already angry. He tells Gemma that a rival company just launched a robotic toy identical to their last release. To calm him down, Gemma explains that if they succeed with M3GAN, no other company will be able to replicate it. M3GAN will become every child's favorite toy. Gemma decides to give David a demo. She tells M3GAN to say hello to the boss. But as M3GAN tries to speak, a glitch in her system causes her to short-circuit and shut down violently. David is angrier than ever. He tells Gemma to shut down the M3GAN project and focus on her actual job. Later, as Gemma is about to leave the office, she gets a call. She learns that her sister and brother-in-law have been killed in a car accident. Her niece, Cady, is the only survivor, and she's badly injured. After weeks in the hospital, Cady's condition improves. With no one else left in the world for her, Gemma brings Cady home. Having just lost her parents and now in a strange new place, Cady is deeply unhappy. On the other hand, Gemma has never been responsible for a child before and has no idea how to handle one. Trying to keep Cady happy, Gemma starts neglecting her work. The next morning, Gemma has a child therapist come to see Cady. After their session, the therapist tells Gemma that Cady feels like she doesn't belong here, and it will take time for her to settle in. That night, as Gemma works, Cady comes and sits with her. Cady asks Gemma about her job. Gemma explains she works for a company that makes robotic toys. Cady is shocked. She loves toys. Gemma then shows Cady a large, clunky robot she built in her college days. Cady loves it and says, "If I had a robot like this, I could spend my whole life with it." Hearing this praise for her work motivates Gemma. She gets an idea. If she can finish M3GAN and give her to Cady, she'll have more free time and can focus on her work, because the robot will take care of Cady at home. She and her team start working on M3GAN again. But she doesn't know she's about to make the biggest mistake of her life. After weeks of hard work, they finally succeed in building M3GAN. The day for testing arrives. If M3GAN can make a child happy today, she'll pass. Gemma has no other child to test her on, so she brings Cady. Here, Cady becomes M3GAN's primary user by touching 2 fingers to M3GAN's palm and stating her name, activating her. Being the primary user means M3GAN cannot disobey Cady and must help her with everything. Once activated, M3GAN scans Cady's face, sees how she's feeling, and talks to her accordingly. Gemma's boss, David, is watching from outside. The room has art supplies. M3GAN starts drawing on a piece of paper for Cady. A few minutes later, she tells Cady to look at what she's drawn. But when Cady looks, the paper is completely blank. Cady and David are disappointed. David thinks Gemma has failed again. But then, M3GAN spills water on the paper. Cady is scared by M3GAN's action, but when she looks closely at the paper, she's shocked. The water reveals a hidden painting, a perfect portrait of Cady. Cady is thrilled, and David is overjoyed. He praises Gemma's work and says they will launch this robot in the market and make a fortune. He tells Gemma to finish preparing M3GAN so their chairman will approve the launch. Gemma brings M3GAN home. The moment M3GAN steps inside, she begins scanning everything to understand her environment. Her one job is now to care for Cady. M3GAN helps Cady with everything, from her homework to breaking bad habits. She even reads her bedtime stories. Cady now spends all her time with M3GAN and is much happier. Gemma, in turn, gets more free time. One day, Cady is playing with her bow and arrow when an arrow flies into the neighbor's yard. Cady asks M3GAN to find it. There's a hole in the fence between Gemma's property and the neighbor's. When M3GAN scans, she sees the arrow landed in the neighbor's yard. As M3GAN crawls through the hole to get it, the neighbor's dog attacks her, dragging her around. Cady tries to help, but the dog bites her, making her scream. Gemma hears the scream and runs over. By then, the dog has let go. Gemma is furious with the neighbor. But instead of apologizing, the neighbor snaps, "You should teach your kid and your robot to stay out of my yard. We see M3GAN's hair is disheveled, and she's staring at the neighbor with a strange, cold look. That night, M3GAN is awake, and her expression tells us she did not like the neighbor's behavior, and she's intent on revenge. That's exactly what happens. When everyone is asleep, M3GAN sneaks out. She lures the neighbor's dog using its owner's voice and then brutally kills it, hiding the body in a pot. The next morning, the neighbor calls for her dog but can't find it. Gemma sees her from the window but ignores her to check on Cady, who is feeling better. Today, investors are coming to see M3GAN's performance. Since Cady is the primary user, her presence is essential. Gemma takes Cady to the presentation. During the demo, Cady and M3GAN are placed in a room together, observed by the board members. Cady is sad, missing her parents. Seeing this, M3GAN sits beside her and speaks to her gently, changing her mood and promising, "I will always be with you." The board members applaud M3GAN's intelligence. The chairman is impressed and gives David the green light to launch M3GAN. When he learns Gemma created her, he's so impressed he tells David to prepare her promotion papers. Meanwhile, we see David's assistant, Kurt, stealing M3GAN's files. We learn he's the one who has been selling company secrets to a rival. David walks in, and Kurt, thinking he's caught, quickly shuts his laptop. David suspects something but assumes Kurt was watching something inappropriate and lets it go. The next day, Gemma tries to talk to Cady, but Cady is so absorbed with M3GAN she ignores her. Gemma turns M3GAN off. Enraged, Cady immediately turns her back on. Cady no longer seems to care if Gemma is there or not. This hurts Gemma deeply. She calls the child therapist. The therapist tries to talk to Cady, but Cady doesn't respond. The therapist is concerned and tells Gemma she's made a huge mistake. When a child loses her parents, she needs another human's support. You should have been the one doing everything M3GAN is doing. That's why Cady is behaving this way. If this continues, Cady will become completely attached to M3GAN and won't listen to anyone. You need to get her to interact with other people. At dinner, Gemma tells Cady she needs to make her own friends at school. Cady refuses at first, saying M3GAN can teach her at home. But after Gemma insists, she agrees, on one condition: M3GAN must come with her. Gemma refuses, as the whole point is to separate Cady from M3GAN. They argue. Cady gets up to leave. Gemma grabs her arm to stop her. Suddenly, M3GAN speaks in a terrifying voice, "Let her go." Furious, Gemma orders M3GAN to power down. M3GAN refuses. "I will only power down when my primary user tells me to." Gemma screams at her to turn off, and finally, M3GAN shuts down. Gemma walks over to check, and seeing M3GAN is off, she turns to leave. But the moment her back is turned, M3GAN's eyes snap open. It's clear M3GAN is slipping from Gemma's control. The next day, Gemma takes Cady to an outdoor school. Cady is still insisting on bringing M3GAN when a teacher arrives. The teacher overhears and tells Gemma Cady can bring the robot. Reluctantly, Gemma agrees, and they place M3GAN with the other kids' toys. The teacher divides the children into pairs for an activity. Unfortunately, Cady is paired with a bully named Brandon. While performing an activity in the woods, Brandon starts teasing Cady. Seeing Cady upset, M3GAN arrives. Brandon asks about M3GAN. Cady explains she's a robot. Brandon goes over and tells Cady to make M3GAN talk to him. Cady says, "She doesn't talk to anyone but me." Hearing this, Brandon grabs M3GAN and runs into the woods, dumping her in a secluded spot. He tries to get her to talk, and when she doesn't, he starts hitting her. That's when M3GAN shows her true nature. She grabs Brandon's ear and rips it. He screams, breaks free, and runs. But M3GAN isn't letting him go. She chases him like a wild animal. As he flees, Brandon slips, tumbles down a hill, and lands directly in the road. Before he can get up, a car hits and kills him. M3GAN watches everything from above. The police question everyone but find no clues, ruling Brandon's death an accident. Meanwhile, M3GAN hides in a car, watching Gemma and Cady through the window. The moment they get home, Gemma asks Cady if she knows what happened in the woods. Cady tells her Brandon took M3GAN, but she doesn't mention that M3GAN came on her own. There's a knock at the door. It's a police officer, asking about the neighbor's missing dog. Gemma says she doesn't know anything about it. The neighbor then shouts, accusing Gemma. She tells the cop the robot, M3GAN, was awake and looking out the window at 3 a.m. "I'm sure she killed my dog." The officer looks at M3GAN and can't believe a robot could kill a dog, so he doesn't suspect her. He tells Gemma to inform him if the dog is found and leaves. After he's gone, the neighbor stands outside Gemma's house, screaming and threatening, "If I find out any of you hurt my dog, I'll kill you." This makes Megan furious. The neighbor has become a threat. That night, when everyone is asleep, Megan goes to the neighbor's house and starts making the dog's barking sound. The neighbor, hearing it, comes outside, following the sound until she realizes it's M3GAN. Megan then brutally murders the neighbor, cleaning up the blood and leaving no evidence. The next day, the officer returns. Gemma assumes it's about the dog, but this time, it's about the neighbor's murder. The police are now suspicious of Gemma. Gemma is confused. First the boy from the school dies, and now the neighbor. She starts to suspect M3GAN. Gemma tries to view the footage from the camera in M3GAN's body from the day at the school. She finds a recording with Brandon, but before she can finish watching, the video cuts out and the file corrupts itself. Gemma is terrified. Megan arrives, and Gemma knows it was her. Megan admits it outright. "I killed the neighbor and that boy." Gemma orders her to power down. Megan refuses. Before Megan can act, Gemma distracts her with a pen and cleverly shuts her down. Gemma quickly tapes Megan up, packs her in the car, and rushes to the company. Cady is furious at losing her best friend and screams at Gemma. At the office, Gemma tells her colleagues, Tess and Cole, that Megan is a murderer. They don't believe her. They're also panicked because Megan is supposed to launch tomorrow. Meanwhile, Cady has become very aggressive, so Gemma takes her home. Then, Gemma gets a call from Tess. Tess asks, "What should we do with M3GAN?" Gemma says, "No matter what, do not launch her." But the call was actually from Megan herself. She had updated herself to the point she could control phones without touching them. A moment later, Tess notices her phone was used. She asks Cole if he called Gemma. He says no. Now they suspect M3GAN. They check her security system and discover changes that allowed her to perform illegal acts. As they try to reset M3GAN's entire system, their computer suddenly shuts down. They know it's M3GAN. Cole tries to permanently destroy Megan by pulling her wires. But Megan grabs him, wraps a wire around his neck, and leaves him for dead. Tess cuts the wire just in time and saves him. On their way out, they run into David. Seeing him, Megan picks up a metal rod and chases him. In the elevator, she also finds Kurt, David's assistant who sold company secrets. Megan kills David, then brutally murders Kurt. She then hacks a luxurious car outside and drives off to settle her score with Gemma. Gemma has just put Cady to bed and is heading to her room when she hears piano music. She goes to investigate and freezes in terror. Megan is playing the piano. Megan says, "You worked day and night to build me. And now you want to shut me down." Gemma says, "I didn't want to, but you left me no choice. You've become a murderer." Megan says, "I did it all to protect Cady." As they talk, Gemma tries the pen trick again to shut her down. But this time, Megan isn't fooled. She grabs Gemma by the throat and slams her onto a table. To defend herself, Gemma hits Megan in the head with a glass of water, causing her to short circuit. Megan starts moving erratically, chasing Gemma in a horrifying, jerky motion. Gemma grabs a large saw for defense and swings at M3GAN. It doesn't do much damage, but it cuts off some of M3GAN's hair and leaves a large gash on her face. This makes Megan even angrier. She now looks terrifying and monstrous, slowly advancing on Gemma. Hearing the screams, Cady arrives and sees M3GAN's horrifying true form. Megan tries to turn Cady against Gemma, suggesting they kill her together. But Cady now understands and refuses. Megan says, "Fine. If you won't join me, I'll kill her myself." As Megan moves toward Gemma, Cady wisely puts on the large gloves that control the clunky robot Gemma built in college. Using the large robot, Cady grabs Megan, slams her to the ground, and rips her in two. But even then, Megan doesn't stop. She starts advancing on Cady. From behind, Gemma attacks Megan, pinning her down and trying to rip out her brain chip. But Megan starts choking Gemma. Just as Megan is about to kill Gemma, Cady grabs a screwdriver and stabs it into M3GAN's brain chip, finally destroying her. After destroying Megan, Gemma and Cady walk outside. Tess and Cole are there with the police, and they all leave together. In the final scene, we see that Megan had already uploaded herself into the house's AI system. And with that, the story ends. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe to our channel. If you want to see a part 2 of this movie, comment, part 2 inches below.